Hello, in this chapter today, we will cover an important topic which is called adverbs. Before you do this topic, I would request you to watch the videos of noun, pronoun and adjective, and only then I would urge you to watch the video of adverbs. Now we know adjectives, they modify nouns and pronouns. So anything that tells about noun and pronoun is an adjective, and adverbs are the words that modify words in a sentence other than noun and pronoun. So basically, a word that qualifies noun and pronoun is an adjective, and a word that tells us anything special about anything else apart from noun and pronoun is an adverb. So for example, if something tells me about a verb, it is an adverb. If something tells me about an adjective, it is an adverb. If something tells me about another adverb, it is an adverb. If something tells me about a conjunction, it is an adverb. So everything is an adverb except the word which tells me about a noun and pronoun. And that is why I will first urge you to watch the video on adjectives and only then watch the video on adverbs. So first is adverbs, they modify verbs or they tell something special about verbs. For example, the child smiled sweetly. Now here smiled is the verb, and how did the child smile? Sweetly. So sweetly is an adverb. The adverb sweetly, it modifies the verb smiled. Similarly, she walked slowly. Now slowly is modifying walked. She walked how? Slowly. So it is telling me something about the verb walked. Therefore, it is an adverb. So the adverb slowly modifies the verb walked. Similarly, he talked politely. Here, the adverb politely is modifying the verb talked. He talked how? Politely. So the verb talked is modified by the verb politely. So politely is an adverb. Now adverbs, they also modify adjectives, and adjectives modify noun or a pronoun. For example, take a look at this sentence. I like dark blue flowers. Now here flowers is a thing. Thing means person, place, thing is a noun. So flowers is a noun. Which word is telling me about the flowers? Blue. How are the flowers? Blue. So blue is an adjective. Anything that tells me about a noun or a pronoun is an adjective. But there is a word which is telling me about blue also. What kind of blue? See, blue can also be of various types. Light blue, dark blue, chocolatey blue, sky blue, whatever blue. So blue can be of many types, and the word dark is telling me about blue. So therefore, there is a word which is telling me something about the adjective, and therefore it is an adverb. So the word dark is an adverb. I is the subject, like is the verb. Very simple. So like that, anything that tells me about adjective is also an adverb. Anything that tells me about adverb is also an adverb. Only thing is, anything that tells me about a noun or a pronoun is an adjective. For example, adverbs can modify conjunction also. Conjunction are the words that join two sentences. Similarly, they can modify prepositions also. Prepositions are relationship words. For example, take a look at this sentence. A bird flew exactly over my house. Here, over is a preposition. The words like on, over, at, in, on, about, they are all prepositions. So the word over is a preposition. And the word exactly is telling me something about over. How over? Exactly over. So exactly is an adverb because it is modifying a preposition. Similarly, adverbs can modify other adverbs also. For example, he walked very slowly. So he walked is the verb, and the quality of walked is slowly. He walked slowly. So slowly is an adverb. But even slowly, how much slowly? Very slowly. So very is also an adverb. Anything that modifies another adverb is also an adverb. Similarly, she sang extremely well. If I say she sang well, forget the word extremely for a moment. Sang is a verb. So she sang how? She sang well. So well is an adverb. But even well is modified by the verb extremely. How much well? Extremely well. So extremely is also an adverb. Anything that modifies an adverb is also an adverb. Similarly, had I written she sang very well, then very would have been another adverb. Now let us see the kind of adverbs. Adverbs can be of many types. Adverbs of manner, place, frequency, time, etc. Let's see them one by one. First is the formation of adverbs. So most adverbs are formed by adding ly to their corresponding adjectives. 99% of adverbs will have ly in the end. That is another way which you can see adverbs, which you can differentiate between adjective and adverb. But this is not always the case. Please remember that there are a lot of adverbs which do not have ly. So don't mug it as a rule. This is not a thumb rule. For example, she is very beautiful. Now here, beautiful is telling me something about she, and she is a pronoun. So anything that tells me about a noun or pronoun is an adjective. So beautiful becomes an adjective. But if I say she is beautifully dressed, here it is telling me something about dressed. She is beautifully dressed. Dressed is a verb, ed. So beautifully becomes an adverb. And in beautifully you have ly at the end. So most of the adverbs are made by adding ly to the adjectives. He is a strange person. Here person is a noun. Person, place, thing is a noun. Person is a noun. Now strange is therefore an adjective, because what kind of person? Strange. Strange word is used for person. Similarly, he behaved strangely. Here behaved is a verb and strangely is describing how he behaved. So it is modifying a verb, therefore it is an adverb. So with strange we added ly, it became an adverb. If the adjectives end in y, you simply replace the I with ly. So for example, happy becomes happily, angry becomes angrily, and lucky becomes luckily. So these are all adjectives and you can simply make an adverb by adding ly. Similarly, probable become probably, gentle become gently, humble become humbly, etc. These are all adverbs. Similarly, basic become basically, economic becomes economically. These are all adverbs. Now let us see adverbs of manner. They tell how a thing is done. For example, adverbs of manner say how something is done. For example, happily, angrily, slowly, carefully. She walked slowly. Now slowly is telling me how is she walking. So it tells me about a manner of walking. She is walking slowly. John drove carefully. Now carefully is telling me about a manner. How he is driving? Carefully. The soldiers fought bravely. So again, it is telling me how did they fight? Bravely. So it is telling me about a manner. Now let us see adverbs of place. Adverbs of place, they tell us where something happens. For example, upstairs, here, there, nearby, everywhere. Okay, basically the place. She looked for him everywhere. So everywhere is an adverb of place. Please come in. In here becomes adverb of place. They bought a house nearby. He lives here. The boss has gone out. He was seen nowhere. So these are all adverbs of place. Next is adverbs of frequency. These are very, very important. So for example, adverbs of frequency, they tell us how often something happens. For example, always, ever, usually, normally, often, frequently, seldom, never. They tell us about when something happens or how often something happens. For example, I am never late. So never is an adverb of frequency. Frequency means how many times something happens. Something happens. For example, if I eat 3 times a day, then 3 is my frequency. If I take bath 5 times a day, then 5 is my frequency. So have you ever been to US? Ever is a adverb of frequency. I often work late. So often means a lot of times. So often is a adverb of frequency. So you have something like a scale in which if you do a thing 10 out of 10 times, it is called always. You do it always. If you do it something like 9 out of 10, it is called often. If you do it 0 out of 10, it becomes never. And if you do it, let's say 1 out of 10, very, very rarely. So you can use the words rarely. You can also use the word barely. You can also use the word hardly. Or you can use the word scarcely. Or you can also use the word seldom. These 5 words mean the same, which means very, very rarely. Rarely, barely, hardly, scarcely, or seldom. Now let us see adverb of purpose. So adverb of purpose tells why something is done, and adverb of degree, it tells us about the degree or extent of an action. For example, if I say I am doing yoga to lose weight, so to lose weight is the purpose, so it becomes adverb of purpose. But If something shows degree, like to what extent something is done, then it becomes adverb of degree. For example, she is very beautiful. So very shows a degree. How beautiful? Very beautiful. So very becomes an adverb of degree. I am extremely sorry. So extremely is an adverb of degree. She is quite strong. Quite is adverb of degree. They are fully prepared. Fully. So these all words show degree. Almost, little, much, to, partly, fully, rather, quite, nearly, etc. So adverb of time and definite frequency tell us when something happens. This is called adverb of time. For example, today, yesterday, later, now, all day, sometimes, frequently, never, often, etc. So for example, I shall go there tomorrow. So tomorrow is an adverb of time. You must get up early. Early is an adverb of time. I have seen him before. Again, adverb of time. So these are all adverbs of time. Now, there are some confusing cases also. Now you know that adverbs generally have ly, but this is not always the case. For example, some words which end in ly, they are actually adjectives and not normally adverbs. For example, these are the words which you have to remember. Words are costly, cowardly, deadly, friendly, likely, lively, lonely, lovely, silly, ugly, unlikely. These are all adjectives. Although these end with ly, they are adjectives and not adverb. And if you have any confusion, you can make a sentence and put this and you can check for yourself. For example, if you say ugly. Now, if you are confused whether it is adjective or adverb, simply make any sentence of your own. For example, he is ugly. Now, ugly is tell me something about he. The word ugly represents he. He is what? He is a pronoun. So anything that tells me about a noun or pronoun is an adjective. So ugly is an adjective. You don't need to get confused at all. If you have strong concepts in English, then nothing can beat you. For example, she has a lovely daughter. Make a sentence. Any sentence with the word lovely. If you are confused, lovely is an adjective or adverb, make a sentence. So the sentence is, she has a lovely daughter. Now daughter is what? Daughter is a person. So it is a noun. And therefore lovely becomes an adjective because it is telling me something about a noun. Similarly, don't be silly. You are telling someone don't be silly. So you are telling someone don't be silly. So silly is a person. So therefore it is a noun. It is a adjective because person is a noun. It was a lively discussion. Here discussion is a place where we discuss, or it can be a thing. So it is a noun, and therefore lively is telling me about a discussion. So lively becomes an adjective. Even though it is ending with ly, it is not an adverb. It is an adjective. Now there are three more which you have to remember, and if you want to make the adverb, then it is slightly different. So these words are coward. This is the adjective form cowardly, and this is the adverb form in a cowardly manner. Miser, the adjective is miserly and adverb is in a miserly manner. Similarly, scholar, adjective is scholarly and adverb is in a scholarly manner. So these are what you call adverbs and these are what you call adjectives. Now you can see that they have ly and still they are adjectives. So don't get confused. The words are coward, miser, scholar. Similarly, there is another word called niggard. Niggard also means miser. So you can make niggardly and in a niggardly manner. Niggardly will be the adjective and in a niggardly manner will be the adverb. So their adverbs are very different. Their adverbs are written like this: in a cowardly manner, in a miserly manner, in a scholarly manner, in a niggardly manner, etc. For example, he behaved cowardly. Is this correct or not? He behaved cowardly. Now behaved is a verb. So to modify this you need an adverb. But is cowardly a adverb? No, cowardly is an adjective, so this sentence is wrong. So you will say he behaved in a cowardly manner because for coward the adverb is not cowardly. Cowardly is an adjective. Here you need an adverb because you are modifying behaved. So you will say he behaved in a cowardly manner. Similarly, Dr. Kalam gave a scholarly speech. Is this correct? Now here this word is representing speech. This word is modifying speech. What kind of speech? Scholarly. And what is speech? Speech is a noun because it is a thing. So it is a noun. Person, place, thing is a noun. So you need to modify a noun. Therefore you need adjective. So is the adjective scholarly? Yes. So it is a correct sentence. The adjective for scholar is scholarly and not in a scholarly manner. Scholarly in a scholarly manner is a adverb. Similarly, Dr. Kalam spoke scholarly. Is this correct? No, this is wrong. Why? Because you want to modify spoke and spoke is a verb. because it is speak, spoke, spoken. So it is a verb. So here to modify spoke, you need modifying adverb. And what modifies verb? Adverb. So you need an adverb. Whereas scholarly is an adjective. So this is wrong. So what you will say? How will you correct it? You will say Dr. Kalam spoke in a scholarly manner. Now there are some adjectives and adverbs which are same. They can be used as adjective also and adverb also. These words will not change, and these are very important in exam, because examiner knows that you are looking for ly to find an adverb. But these, they will remain same. Doesn't matter you use them as adjective or adverb. So these words are fast, hard, high, late, near, straight, wrong, daily, early, leisurely. These are all adjectives also and adverbs also. For example, if I say it is a fast car. Now here car is what? Car is a thing. Therefore it is a noun. If I am telling something about the car, that becomes an adjective. So which word tells me about the car? How is the car? It is fast. So fast is an adjective. But if I say a fast car goes fast. So the first fast is for car, so it is an adjective. But second fast represent goes, and goes is a verb. So second fast is becoming an adverb. So the same word is acting as adjective also and adverb also in the same sentence. Next, he drove fast. Here fast becomes an adverb because it is telling me something about drove. So drove is a verb, so fast becomes an adverb. Similarly, you must work hard. Here you must work. Work is a verb. Therefore hard becomes an adverb. He is an early riser. Here riser is a noun because riser is a person. So it is a noun, person, place, thing. And early becomes an adjective. If you say I got up early, here it is for got up. Got up is a verb. So early becomes an adverb because it is telling me something about the verb. So like that, these verbs are used as adjective also and adverb also. Try this. Is this sentence correct? This is a question from the exam. This is a sentence correction question from the exam. When I saw my mother, I ran straightly to her. I repeat, when I saw my mother, I ran straightly to her. Is this correct? No, this is wrong. You don't say I ran straightly to her, you say I ran straight to her. There is nothing called straightly because straight is acting as an adjective also and adverb also. And here you need an adverb because you want to say something about ran. So I ran straight to her. Ran is a verb, so you need an adverb. And the adverb for straight is straight only. It is not straightly. Similarly, is that music enough loud? Is this correct? No, this is wrong. Whenever you want to use the adverb enough, you put it at the end. So you will say, is that music loud enough? And for example, are you good enough? Is he tall enough? Is she beautiful enough? So enough is generally placed at the end. So for example, the adverb enough and not enough usually take a post modifier position or they are placed at the end. However, they can also be placed at the front also if they are using as an adjective. For example, did she give us enough time? This is correct. Now here time is a noun because it is a thing and enough is using as an adjective. So if enough word is using as an adjective, it is placed before, and if it is using as an adverb, it will be placed at the end. Now let us see these words. What is the difference between these two? He is too smart, he is so smart, and he is very smart. What is the difference? Or they all mean the same. He is too smart, he is so smart, and he is very smart. Now look, he is very smart is proper here. It does not have any strings attached. It does not have any condition attached. If you want to say he is very smart, that's okay. He is very smart, there is no condition attached. But he is too smart and he is so smart, there is a condition attached. Let's see in detail. Now the adverb to is followed by an infinitive to plus verb. This is the first rule. Whenever you use to, you will use it always with another to. TOO will be used by to and it shows a degree. For example, she runs too slowly to enter this race. That means she is not good enough to enter this race. She is too slow. She runs too slowly to enter this race. So to's will be followed by to. It shows a certain degree of comparison. Certain degree of comparison that, for example, if I say it is too hot to play outside, that means I am not saying it is too hot today, but it is certainly this much hot that I can't play outside. So for playing, it is very hot. Maybe it's not too hot today. Maybe it's a normal temperature, but for playing, it is too hot. So it is too hot to play. So there is always a condition attached. For example, he is too smart to fail. Means he will not fail. For failing he is too smart. But he may not be too smart. He may be an average child. But for failing he is too smart. So there is a condition attached. He is too smart for what? To fail. So to will be always followed by infinitive to plus verb. But if I say he is very smart, then there is no condition attached. I am praising him. He is very smart. Simple. If I want to say he is very good, simple. There is no condition attached. But if I say he is too smart, then I also have to mention he is too smart for what? Well, he is too smart to fail. Or he is too smart. He is too smart to not get a job. Which means he will get a job. He is too smart to not get a job. Now let us see he is so smart. See, so will always be followed by that. So always shows a condition. This sentence is incomplete, therefore it is wrong. You can't say he is so smart. You have to complete it. He is so smart that he doesn't need to study. He is so smart that he doesn't need to study. So there is a condition attached. He is so smart means to what degree he is smart. He is so smart that so will be followed by that. He doesn't need to study. My house is so big. Is this sentence correct? No, this is incomplete because so will take that. So for example, my house is so big that it has 50 rooms. My house is so big that it has 5 bathrooms. My house is so big that it has a 100-acre campus. My house is so big that it has a big garden. So you have to fulfill the condition. Similarly with to, you have to fulfill a condition using to. But with very, there is no condition. That is the difference between to, very and so. Now, there are words which make a sentence negative like not and never. But there are a lot of words which with which you don't have to use the word not and never. These are called negative adverbs. And in that, we don't use the word no, neither, nor, never, etc. because they are already negative. For example, he seldom visits. He seldom visits means he rarely visits. So this is already a negative sentence. So you will not say he does not seldom visit. You will simply say he seldom visits, which means he rarely visits. It also means he barely visits. It also means he scarcely visits. And it also means he hardly visits. These all 5 words are very, very beautiful words and they mean he does not visit or he visits very rarely. She hardly eats anything, which means she rarely eats anything, she barely eats anything, she scarcely eats anything, which means she eats very, very less, almost negligible. She hardly eats anything since the accident. So you will not say she does not hardly eat anything. You will say she hardly eats anything. You don't need to put no and not etc. to make it negative. This sentence is already negative. Similarly, after her long and tedious lectures, rarely was anyone awake. Rarely was anyone awake. Here, rarely again means rarely, barely, scarcely, hardly, etc. Hardly was anyone awake. You can also say barely was anyone awake, which means very few were awake. Is this sentence correct? I rarely do not study anything. Basically, you want to show that you do not study anything. Very, very rarely do you study anything. So rarely is already negative. You don't need to use do not. So the sentence will be I rarely study anything. Don't put do not because this sentence is already negative. Similarly, I hardly study anything. Is this sentence correct? I hardly study anything. Yes, this is correct. I hardly study anything. You don't need to say I hardly don't study anything because hardly itself is a negative word. Now let us see the difference between late versus lately. See, late is very, very easy. Late means when you are late. Like for example, I came late, like that. But lately means recently. Or it is also called off late. Off late means very, very recently. Something that has happened recently. And late means after that time. For example, recently I have attended many parties in Delhi. Recently means in the last month, in the last week, something like that, very, very recently. You can also say lately I have attended many parties in Delhi. So lately means recently. You can also say off late. Off late I have attended many parties in Delhi. That is also correct. Either say off late or say lately or say recently. They all mean the same. Similarly, there is a difference between hard and hardly. Hardly you know by now. Hardly means rarely, barely, scarcely, etc. And hard means something that you do with a lot of intensity. For example, I study very hard, which means you study a lot. You study with a lot of hard work. I study very hard means you study a lot, very, very positive. But if you say I hardly study, that means almost negligible, negative. So hardly is a negative word. Okay, try this. Sachin is regarded the best player in the world. Sachin is regarded the best player in the world. Is this sentence correct? No, because after regarded you always use as. So you will say Sachin is regarded as the best player in the world. So as can be used with these: regard, define, describe, view and know. With these verbs you will always use as. For example, he considers me as a stupid person. Is this correct? He considers me. So check out the verbs with which we use as. Is consider the verb with which we use as? No. So this sentence is wrong. So you will say he considers me a stupid person. As is not required here. So you will not use as with these verbs: name, elect, think, consider and call. So you can see with consider we don't need to use as. Okay, try this. I felt badly and I look honestly. Are these correct? Now look at this verb felt. Felt comes from feel and it is a verb of sensation. Similarly, look is a verb of sensation. When you see, touch, smell, feel, they are all verbs of sensation. And with verbs of sensation, you use the adjective form and not the adverb form, which means you will never use ly. So you will simply say, I felt bad, not badly. Similarly, I look honest, not honestly. So these are the verbs of sensation: taste, smell, feel, look, etc. So you will say, I felt bad and I look honest. Try this. Is this sentence correct? She works honestly. Is this sentence correct? Yes, this is correct because works is not a verb of sensation. So you will use the adverb form. She works honestly. She writes skillfully, etc. etc. He behaved friendly. Is this correct? He behaved friendly. No, this is wrong because friendly is an adjective as we have seen previously. It is a word which is an adjective. So you will say he behaved in a friendly manner because in a friendly manner is the adverb for friend. So friendly is an adjective. You can say he is a friendly person because in that sentence it will act as an adjective. But if you want to say he behaved, so you are modifying behaved. Behaved is a verb, so you need an adverb. An adverb is not friendly. Adverb is in a friendly manner. Try this. Is this sentence correct? He fought bravely. So fought is a verb. So you need an adverb. And for brave, the adverb is bravely. So yes, it is correct. But can you say he fought cowardly? Now fought is a verb. So again you need an adverb. But cowardly is not an adverb. Cowardly is an adjective. So you will say he fought in a cowardly manner. So this sentence was wrong. He fought cowardly. You will say he fought in a cowardly manner. Similarly, in a friendly manner, in a niggardly manner, in a scholarly manner. So be very careful when you make the adverbs from the adjectives. So that was the chapter on adverbs. You have to focus on the different kinds of verbs, the exceptions in the adverbs.